Welcome back to the Weebs Closet, guys. I know this is a bit of a weird kind of video to be seeing on the timeline right now. First, I want to say I'm getting over a sickness right now. That's why my voice is a little bit weird. So yeah, like a year ago on my main channel, Liquid Jake, you can find it on the main page of the Weebs Closet, I had uploaded a review for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I'd say about a week after that video had been uploaded, I accidentally uploaded a Weebs Closet reaction to the Liquid Jake YouTube channel. After I realized I did that, I went in to delete that video, the reaction, accidentally deleting my Final Fantasy VII Remake review. Instead of re-uploading it, I thought, all my subscribers that wanted to watch it already watched it, so I never re-uploaded it. Now, at this point, we have almost 6,000 subscribers, and at that time, on my Liquid Jake channel, I only had about 400 subscribers, so there's probably a few of you who haven't seen this video or didn't even know it existed, so I thought I would just re-upload it, give a little disclaimer on how it came to be and why it's on here. And if you like this type of content, I would really love to keep making, reviews for games and whatnot. I was talking with Taylor over at the Gaming Shelf. The Final Fantasy VII review was actually the first video he had ever seen of mine, and he was, as much as he enjoyed the video, he wanted me to put that content on a separate channel. And so this is kind of my announcement that the Liquid Jake channel, that I haven't been, uploading to very often, but I will, that is going to stay as a movie, TV, somewhat anime channel, while this is going to be more reaction to anime, movies, and games. And so if you guys like this type of content, game reviews, I would love to start uploading more and start making more. I really love putting videos together like this, and Neko would be all for it, this type of content being on the channel. There's Bug. Oh my god, I killed it brutally. There's bug blood all over the table. This is a mess. But yeah, if you happen to click on this video, thank you, and please let me know what you think. Up to its release, Final Fantasy VII Remake was my most anticipated game of all time. There are very few things I can think of throughout my life that I was more hyped about than this game. And the critics, well, what can I say? They absolutely love the game. Most of them. Well, some of them. I don't actually know what the consensus on the game is. Watching a critique of Final Fantasy VII Remake felt like watching someone's attempt to contradict someone else's critique. Reviewing the game became less about the actual game and more about who could disagree with who more. But there are some things that just cannot be argued with. Remember when everyone was complaining that the game was going to be too short before it was even released? Welp, according to my good buddy Jeremy Johns, turns out all of these people were wrong.
Other than the game it's trying to be longer than it probably needs to be. And for sure, not all the side quests are that way. At a point, the game's like, okay, so now you know about side quests, so now we're not going to make you do the side quests. You should, though. But for a time in this game, I just felt like they were puffing up the runtime with side quests.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's too long. There's some filler.
But it expands it, and it's not all just filler. I was worried it'd be mainly just tedium and filler.
Is there not filler? Is it too long? Whatever. The combat. No one is complaining about this combat. The action in Final Fantasy VII Remake is some of the best.
I was upset that half the game, the regular enemies were dying so fast.
Okay, so enemies die a little too quickly. A little too... Okay, Max, okay.
Although, unfortunately, when playing through the game on normal, most of the enemies, even just trash mobs, are very spongy. They just take so much damage and so much time.
Actually, they take too long to die. Okay. The voice acting. Oh my god, the voice acting is fantastic in Final Fantasy VII.
From the previous game, they're doing exactly what they do. They're communicating to each other, and they're voiced by actors and actresses that nail these roles. Just kill these roles.
Yeah, you see?
So well.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
Erica Lindbeck crushes it as a thirsty for Cloud Jessie.
She is a major character, and every time she talks, I want to die.
Welcome home, honey. Took your sweet time.
Wait, something isn't right here.
What? I get the skirt.
No, I want the skirt.
I get the sponge.
Okay, you can have the sponge.
I get the feather boa.
No, I wanted the feather boa. Took your sweet time.
Jason, I think Leah does the voice acting for the character you're talking shit about. Whatever, not my chair, not my problem. The music. Anyone have anything to say about the music?
It's really good. My god, the music is so good.
truly phenomenal soundtrack.
You heard it here first, guys. Final Fantasy VII Remake has amazing music, therefore it is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece of a video game. Goodbye. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, bit of a mouthful, is dropping this Thursday, and I thought it would be a perfect time to share my thoughts on the game, the original remake that came out last year. Like I said at the start of the video, FF7 Remake was my most anticipated game ever, and trying to find a clear consensus on the game was a little bit frustrating prior to its release. It seemed that the game was good, but there were so many contradictions online that I kind of just decided not to watch any more reviews and just wait to formulate my own opinions when the game came out. And Final Fantasy VII did not disappoint me in the least bit. Everything about the game just felt so amazing. The character interactions, the orchestral score that constantly lingers in the background, and especially the combat. FF7R has my favorite action combat in any video game, period. It deceptively starts out as a simple hack and slash, but the combat has so many tricks up its sleeve. Take Cloud. You smash the square button, you get some simple attacks going, then you hit triangle. What's this? You switch to a different combat stance called Punisher mode. In this mode, Cloud moves slower, but he hits much harder. He can't block projectiles, but he can counter physical attacks. Switching between these two stances in combat at the right time is some of the most satisfying video game memories I have, but that's only a fraction of what the combat has to offer. ATB plays a huge part in the action as well. The purpose of ATB is to build up either 1 or 2 bars. The only way to fill up these bars is to engage in combat. You can't just stand around in the corner like a little pansy. FF7 is all about playing aggressive and being rewarded greatly for it. Once an ATB meter is filled, you can press the X button, which, wait, turns the entire game into slow-mo. So now you have time to make a decision on how you want to spend that ATB bar that you earned by engaging in combat. Do you want to use a spell to heal your allies? Maybe a fire spell to further attack your enemy. Maybe your opponent is weak to lightning and you want to hit him with a lightning spell to build his stagger bar. And when the stagger bar is filled, boom! The enemy is stunned and your team can attack freely until the stagger meter drops to 0%. It's so good. And I just explained the combat of one of 4 playable characters in this game. Characters that level up, attain new abilities and new weapons throughout it's a lot and it's really freaking good. The combat is so addictive and stimulating and just fun. I have over 100 hours on FF7 Remake and I don't see myself ever getting tired of taking on enemies. And yes, all of the enemies have health proportional to what type of enemy they are. Enemies both die quickly and are very spongy. If you're fighting a rat, you're probably going to win in 2 seconds. If you're fighting a giant fire-breathing house, it's probably going to take you a little while, homie. I feel like I've been talking forever about the combat and I haven't even dug into the characters yet. Each character, whether it be Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, or Aerith, or even Don Corneo's bodyguard, has some sort of character development. They're all so well-rounded and the characterization is phenomenal. Aerith is the quirky yet stubborn white mage that has a huge responsibility in the story that she keeps from her friends because she knows that her destiny is her own burden, while it takes someone like Barrett, who is cocky, arrogant, and naive. And also, he has a minigun for an arm, which solidifies him as the best character in anything. Each character in Final Fantasy VII is so distinct from one another that it's impossible to confuse them. It'd be like confusing Sonic with Mario. It's not possible. And the soundtrack, it's one of the best out there, not just in gaming. I can't hype it up enough. I have put so much FF7 music in my videos, I might as well be on the cover of the freaking album. I love this stuff. But if FF7 Remake falters anywhere, I believe it's how they handled the main villain Sephiroth. In the original game, Sephiroth has growth as a character. We understand where he comes from because of how much backstory we get on the character. If you've never played the original game, you are going to be so confused at who Sephiroth is and what his motivation is. However, I also understand that this is a Sephiroth who has already lived through the events of the original Final Fantasy VII, which is a whole nother conversation, but at the end of the day, if I put myself in the shoes of an FF7 noob, I don't think they use Sephiroth as effectively as possible. In terms of negatives, that's really all I can pull out of my ass. And it's something that's going to be explained further in the sequels. You're going to hear this a lot from me, but there is no such thing as perfection. Whether it be a movie or a game or piece of music, perfection is not attainable because perfection is unknowable. It's different for everyone. So when I give a game a 100%, that's not me saying, oh, well, this game is perfect. It's a gaming masterpiece. No, I'm saying my enjoyment of the game reached a 100%, and I'm explaining this to you because Final Fantasy VII Remake absolutely gets the first ever 100% on the Liquid Jakey scale. It's not perfect, but it's absolutely one of my favorite games of the last few years, and even a year later, I still contend that I enjoyed the game that much. Guys, FF7 Intergrade comes out this week. Let me know what you thought of the added content if you got a chance to play it. Just let me know what you think of Final Fantasy VII Remake overall, or it can be the original even. I'd really love to know what you thought, and I'd love to know if this video convinced you in any way to play the game. Thank you all for watching. I've been wanting to gush about this game for the longest time, and I finally got to, so I appreciate if you clicked on the vid. And please, while you're at it, hit the subscribe button. You're a gamer, you hit buttons, that's what you do, so just do it, you crazy son of a...